Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. Let's see how long it takes us to write 2023 accidentally for the first time. Um,
I
welcome to
accidentally wrote 2024 last month, so that was the first for me.
Oh, there you go. You were anticipating that we were headed into the new year. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Welcome to the IT Hour, first one of the new year. All right. We are on episode 84, if you can believe it. We've been doing this for a little while now, so it's very exciting to see that we are going strong. So I'm Becky Scott, and we have Urvashi, our technical champion, with us, and we have Ari, one of our PMs, with us. Yay! And he's going to, yeah, you're gonna keep doing all the fun things. He's going to talk to us about Windows MDM Lite Touch deployment. And welcome to the IT Hour for the first time. We're excited to have you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy
Excited
that
as well.
it's the first time that someone else is on here at 10 p.m. with me. So thank you, Hari.
Friday. Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here with us. And as you can see, it's cold in my office, so I've got my hand warmers on because it was 25 degrees this morning and freezing on the way to school. So, brr.
Well, it's 25 degrees Celsius here, and it is also freezing by our standards.
Yeah.
So, I've got my sweatshirt on, repping my alma mater.
I would have to convert it to see what that is in Celsius, but
below freezing is all
since
we
it's
need
below
to know.
freezing, so it's below 0 Celsius. So, yeah. Sorry.
It's 22 here.
Celsius and still cold.
Yeah. No likey. Rob says that Urvashi has his ideal work hours up at the crack of 4 p.m.
Hey, now, Rob, I wake up at the crack of 2 p.m. Okay, 1:55, and then I'm logged in at 2. So
I do have to admit, during the break, not having to take any kids to school, able to sleep in till 9 or 10. It's not bad. This working thing makes me get up
but
too
unfortunately,
early.
my cat has figured out that if he screams at me, he can use himself as an alarm clock to be fed. It hadn't happened, but the last few weeks it has become a thing. So
yeah, my cat tries to, but I know she still has food out there, so it's like,
he has food out there. He has food, but he just, I don't know. I get bullied by my cat, I think.
Yeah, mine tries to. She doesn't walk over my face, but instead of jumping over me like the other two cats do, she walks across me. It's deliberate.
Yep.
Yeah.
My cat does the same thing.
Oh yeah, you won't feed me? I'll step in the middle of your abdomen. See how you like that.
Oh my God, Rob. I had a rat that learned that if he would yell at his brother at 4 a.m., I would get up and he could come to bed with me. It took me weeks to break him out of that. Yeah, I need to break this habit also. Hari, by the way, Rob in the chat has pet rats, and they are actually very cute.
Oh, I'm listening that the rat is a pet for the first time. Sorry, Rob, but I'm listening it for the first time.
Yeah, they can be really good pets. I had some a very, very long time ago, but I haven't had them in years. But yeah, they can be pretty cute and very affectionate. Rob is expanding people's horizons. Basically, small dogs with big cat attitude. Absolutely. Well, back to the normal stuff. So we're not really changing things too much so far in the new year. We're going to keep our agenda until we decide to change it. Seems to be working so far, but always open to suggestions. So if you think of something you would like us to add into the mix, let us know. We are going to do our community update. Not any product releases and announcements quite yet, but I'm sure we'll have some soon. And then
I think we should change the word to releasements, though. I think it's
that's just a combo of releases and announcements.
Yeah.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks. Releasements.
New word. And then we will get into Windows MDM Lite Touch deployment. Can't wait to see what you have to show us there. Very exciting. All right, so community update. Just a handful of things. Of course, it was quiet over the holiday. I hope you all got to take at least some time off and relax a little bit. Urvashi, did you were going to at least take a couple days off? Did you get a chance to?
Well, I took the first off and I did nothing. I did go to IKEA though, because I got into this like I'm gonna redo everything in my apartment. I got into that zone. So I went to IKEA and spent too much money. But hey, I have some new sheets now, I guess.
I used to live near an IKEA and now it's 3 hours away, and the one that
Yeah.
was going to come here, the deal fell through for some reason. So yeah, it takes a lot of effort to go to IKEA, and
But you
very
guys have
sad.
Target. Do you know how much I miss Target?
Yeah. Target and
Um,
Costco, but in order to have the trifecta, we
oh
really
yeah.
need IKEA, because the bookshelves that you sometimes see behind me, they're IKEA and they're great. So I have quite a bit of furniture from there. Okay, anyway,
Today's
I was going
episode
to,
is sponsored by IKEA, but it's not.
yes, please contact us if you'd like to. Um, so in the community, like I said, it was kind of quiet, but that's okay. That's to be expected over the holidays, because I did not check in at all for the first time, because usually I'm like checking in a little bit during my vacations, but I tried really hard not to, because Urvashi said, I got this, go do your vacation. So I did. So thank you, Urvashi. All right. So MSP discussions. Chris has posted a partner success interview with OSA Technology Partners. So that is pretty cool to have some success talks with our MSP partners. So go check that out, especially if you're an MSP. And we've got our Exploring AI IT Hour transcript up. So that discussion with you and Lindsay. And then Sean has been busy in scripts and best practices in both sections. Time-based device admin, a working prototype in scripts, and a progressive onboarding guide to JumpCloud Go. So if you have any questions about that, go check out that best practice. Sean always writes these really great guides and scripts, and he's been hard at work. And that is it on the community update for now. We've also got a handful of questions in there if you want to go check some of those out. And with that, Mr. Product Manager, Hari, please take it away. And you said you had a short presentation and a video, maybe a little demo of what you got going on.
May not be a demo today, but you know, I'm
Well, I
gonna
think like a
introduce
video
it live.
demonstration.
Yeah, video demonstration, but not kind of a live demo that I'm gonna do today. So, all right, let me share my screen.
I may or may not be guilty of having discouraged Hari from doing a live demo. He said he was going to do a
Not
live
this
demo, and I
early
was
in the
like,
year. No, I meant a video demo of it. No, we're not tempting the demo gods this early in the year.
oh, hey, Tom's in the chat. Yes, not yet, Tom. A few sacrificial lambs need to be submitted at the altar.
All right, you guys should be able to see my screen now. Awesome. All right, most anticipated thing across the world. Windows light touch deployment. That's something that we are coming up in this year. So let me get started now. Before we get typically into the nitty gritty details of what exactly it's all about, I just want to introduce one of my friend I met about a year ago at a bar. Who was a bit frustrated with a lot of stuff, and then I got to know he is also an IT guy, and he's frustrated for various reasons, and one among that is his office stuff. especially talking about getting the devices up and running, handing it over to the employees, and make sure make the work happen. So let me introduce my friend. There you go. He's John. Right. He's a shy guy. He's not going to talk today. I'm going to be his voice. But when we look at his typical day at work, right, this small portion of the work that he does at the office is, set up user accounts, you know, and then enroll the devices, assign them to the right groups, have some policies, configuration push, make sure everything is going, as per the use case. Every device is up and running, and he just, you know, lives in the platform and make sure, everything is going smooth by looking at insights. If there's a problem, he looks into the, problem, troubleshoots it, and gets a solution to that. So it's all his day-to-day activity. And when he was explaining his problem to me, he said, like, hey, Harry, one of the problem, I have is that I spend most of my time in just enrolling device, especially Windows device. And, that was one key takeaway from our discussion that day. And we have been thinking about it. We have a great team here at JumpCloud, and we have been thinking about it, like, what can we do? It's not just John's problem, it's the IT's problem. So we wanted to solve this problem globally, not just make my friend John happy, but rest of the IT admins happy, so that we could automate a lot of this stuff. That's when we said, okay, the problem admins have with provisioning new Windows devices, let's look at this problem. So when we look at this problem, provisioning each device may take several minutes to hour. In this period of time, in this era, time is money, and when there's no time, there's no money, and we just cannot, waste hours of minutes to an hour, in just configuring the device. Now, if one device is going to take such a long period of time, imagine if there's set of devices to be configured. That's going to be a nightmare, and we cannot just leave the problem out there and start focusing on the rest of the things. So we just wanted to address this one. But before that, there are some manual configurations, and that can be tedious and time consuming too. Now, the admin and my friend John, he did not spend much of his time in just configuring the device, but he's also, spending some extra time in configuring some of the stuff. It could be in the setup screen, it could be post configuring or post provisioning device. So, it could be tedious and time consuming, and it's all about taking time and not giving the devices to the users on time, and thereby it could affect the productivity, and that's a big concern to any organization. So not just that, directly proportional to the security threat as well, because we are all humans. John is human, every IT admin is a human. So during this configuration setup process, there could be some inconsistency, or there could be some settings that can be configured wrong, and that could leave a device open. It could be a vulnerable point. Anybody can get into the device and start playing around with the data or whatnot. So that's again a biggest security threat. So bottom line, these are a set of problems an IT admin is facing as on today while provisioning new Windows devices, not just my friend John. So what are we trying to do? Now we came up with a solution called as Windows Light Touch deployment. And for the tech savvies who understand Windows jargons, it's provisioning package, PPKG, in short. So we came up with a pretty simplified solution for all the admins out there. So you guys just configure a source file, which we have an option to download in our console, and you will have to use a third-party tool. Again, it's approved Microsoft third-party tool, and just export or create a PPKG, a provisioning package. Now, what is a provisioning package? It's a combination. It's a collection of all settings. When I say settings, it could be as small as a peripheral setting, like in a Bluetooth location, or including trackpad or any peripheral setting, to certificate deployments to applications and whatnot. So everything can be configured this within this provisioning package within the tool called as Windows Configuration Designer. Again, it's very user-friendly tool. Um, all that they'll have to do is just import the source file we are providing within our console and add specific settings within the source file, and then create a provisioning package. Now, this provisioning package later need to be pushed to a flash drive, and that's it. That's it. You could have one or many flash drives with this provisioning powerful, I'm going to say powerful provisioning package. It's new term, maybe I'm just saying it out, but that powerful provisioning package can live up to 90 days to 500 devices enrollment. Now we'll talk about it why we have this validation, but once you have this one, an IT admin has this one in hand, all that he'll have to do is unbox a new device, just power it on and connect the USB stick. The operating system, Windows, is very intelligent. Oh, there's a USB stick. I need to show some screens. And that's when it says, oh, there's a provisioning package, and everything is automated. And boom. Now, within this automation, if an admin chooses to create a local account with certain username and passcode, or he could also automate a lot of stuff by connecting to directory logins. So everything is automated. Now, what we're looking at, we are, bringing down from hours to minutes with this provisioning package. So that is what we are providing. And now here's the flow, as good as it. So within our console, in the devices section, we have an option to download. Once the file is downloaded, there's a prerequisite. The prerequisite is the admin and my friend John should be having a Windows 10 or 11 machine installed with this Windows Configuration Designer tool. It's a very small tool. There's no rocket science, but that's the prerequisite. Now download the configuration file and take the configuration file to the Windows machine and open this configuration tool. Import this configuration file, whatever the settings that they could do within that, they could add. It could be settings like accounts are related to Bluetooth location, or it could be related to certificates, it could be related to applications, or it could be related to workspace, whatnot. Ton of settings can be configured within the tool, and then a provisioning package file is exported, and that's when it pushed to a flash drive. Now let's take a step back and look at some of the things in detail. So like I said, admin, my friend John, he goes to a certain place and he downloads certain configuration file. The red thing that we are looking at is all the activity that's being done within the configuration designer. And when I say runtime settings, can be anything, right? Which we'll see in the short video in about a few minutes. But once that is done, the output is the provisioning package. Move it, and that's when this provisioning package file can be used to set up the devices, which is nothing but out of the box experience, we could say. Now, what we are trying to do, we are trying to bring set of workstations in hours to minutes. That's where the shrinkage that we could bring in and help the IT admins out there. So the whole process that we just talked about shouldn't be taking more than 15 minutes for an IT admin to set up the device, and that's a wow factor. Now, this whole process, it's not just making my friend John happy. When I discussed this with him, he was pretty happy. He said, Hari, when are we going to have this? I said, wait on, we have a plan to it. What's the plan? But before that, let's look at Now, what is this going to provide? What is this provisioning package? This process, this light touch deployment, we could give a number of names to it, but ultimately what matters is what it is going to bring onto the table. Number one, it's pretty simplified and efficient deployment, meaning just create the package once, whatever is needed, you add into the configuration file and start using it to deploy all the devices in bulk. Like I said, there is an expiration, there's a validation for every provisioning package. Why we have done that? Okay, let's take a classic example. Hari is working in JumpCloud and he's an IT admin and he manages a ton of devices. Okay, he's got a thumb drive with a provisioning package. This, flash drive went into someone's hands and they're not trustworthy. What should we do? He could play around with this file, start setting up devices, whatnot. He could do quite a bit of stuff. And this is a proprietary, source of JumpCloud. So that's the reason we have this validation, and then there's a revocation that can happen. That's a whole lot of a process. Again, we're gonna have ton of material, training guides, videos, whatnot about it, and how to manage. But end of the day, it's the most efficient way of deployment. Then looking at scalability and security, yes, at runtime itself, it's gonna set up some of the settings which are again related to security. Now, supports variety of security settings. The most important thing is all these security settings can be configured right at the runtime, which means the device is is now being secured right from the starting point itself, not after provisioning, enrolling in, etc., etc. It's being secured right from the starting point, and every organization would love that factor. Next, can deploy larger set of Windows endpoints quickly and easily. Like I said again, time is money, and we are saving ton of time and efforts over here. This is gonna improve IT experience. Obviously, no human intervention. Once at a time, create the provisioning package, and you can live with it for pretty good duration of time and pretty good set of count of devices that an IT admin can enroll. And most important, no manual configuration for each device, meaning every device is secured, and um, that's as good as it. Then improved ROI, deployment from hours to minutes. Like I said, it's a wow factor. Larger deployments are no more nightmares. So this is how it's going to be. This is its own success story it's gonna have. And again, now going back to when can we have this? When can IT admins can start using this, right? When can my friend John can start using this? So we have a release plan. Now we, phased it into two. Phase one, we're gonna go GA mid-Jan, anytime, this month, mid of this month. This feature is going to be available for all the IT admins out there and my friend John. And then we have a phase two. Now let me talk a little bit about this phases over here. So now there's a configuration files that an admin can download. He downloaded, created a provisioning package, and using this tool, Windows Configuration Designer, and he pulled in a lot of settings which are needed for every device to have. Everything is done. Like I said, we cannot leave this provisioning package living out there, uh, for the rest of its life, or until the whole saga continues. So we said, okay, we need, from security perspective, we need to safeguard this provisioning package, and that's the reason we have a validation, right? Which is every provisioning package which is created has got a shelf life of 90 days or 500 device enrollment, whichever comes first, right? Whichever comes first, that condition will be taken into consideration, and right after that, the provisioning package will not be useful anymore. And how can an IT admin get to know about it? At this point in time, meaning in phase one, they'll have to contact our support team. We're going to have some directory insights pertaining to that. but they'll have to work with our support team and revoke the provisioning package, or they could download a new configuration file and create a new ppkg. Again, it's going to live for 90 days or 500 devices. So everything is handled by the team from backend. That's what we have in the phase one. In phase two, we're going to have a UI given to all IT admins where from where they could control the revocation. So, oh, this went into wrong hands. Let me revoke the provisioning package. Right after revocation from the UI itself, it's no more valid. So we're gonna have the UI aspect of revocation in phase two, but in phase one, everything is handled by us. You could reach out to the support team. We have wonderful support team, and they can help you guys out. So that's how this is phased. And let's talk about the deployment strategy. Well, these are three top things that we could think of. One is self-deployment. Any IT admin or my friend John, he could just create a provisioning package, have set of thumb drives, and start deploying the devices, whatever condition they have, a number of devices, and they can create as many ppkgs as they want and start using. That's an IT admin doing by himself. If not, could work with your vendor, meaning you could create a provisioning package and give it to the vendors. And the vendors who are, basically creating images, they could, include this provisioning package into the image and provide you zero touch deployment, right? So that way, you could, any organization could even automate the process and call zero touch deployment, right? Then you could reach out to our warehousing partners who could help you in having the devices, everything configured and set up. You just have to work with us, and we'll help you in reaching out to our warehouse partners. That's how the strategy is, right? That's it. Let me play a short demonstration video. All right. You guys could see we have the source file to download the configuration file from Windows section within JumpCloud. So the navigation part to this placeholder is, go to devices upon login, go to Windows, and then you would see an IT admin would typically say this, install configuration file, and that's where, they could download, right? So let's just look at this short demonstration video. Right. Once this video, this configuration file is downloaded, and this is how the configuration designer tool looks like. The configuration file which is being downloaded, it contains a customization file and a project file. The project file needs to be imported into this, and once imported, these are all the settings that can be configured. Like I just said, it's not just about one or two; it's about the every peripheral setting or user level or workplace, whatnot. Everything can be configured. Now, talking about account management or accounts, the, any organization using Active Directory, they could also add those details over there. So all that a user will have to do is just log in with us, directory credentials, and not with anything else. So everything can be automated within this configuration designer, and then it needs to be exported, right? It needs to be exported, but we have a quick things that we wanted to show in this video. right? So some of the settings, and let me just, yeah, computer name. The IDs can also be configured against the serial number or with the usernames. Default admin accounts can be created as well. Once for all, it just creates user accounts on all the devices. And we are just showing some of the policies which are configured, but as you could see on the left side, there's ton of settings which are lying out there. And once the configuration settings are set, the provisioning package needs to be created, export. You're not just doing any encryption, but it's always possible. Once that's done, once export is done, we'll have an output, which is the provisioning package. Right, there you go. And that's where the provisioning package is. That's it. So this provisioning package can now be used to deploy the devices, provision the devices with all the settings which we just configured. So that's how this whole process works. That's it. It's a pretty short demonstration video that I wanted to share. Questions?
Yeah, there were some questions. Stephen wants to know, how is your thing different from the WICD tool? This has been around for a while.
Well, WICD tool. So when we talk about device connecting to JumpCloud and you being managing it from JumpCloud, so we provide some secret keys and tokens within the configuration tool, and that's where you could have it embedded into the provisioning package. During the enrollment, it directly talks back to the JumpCloud, and you could start managing the devices from JumpCloud itself. So within the configuration file, we're going to have some tokens, secret keys, which are embedded into the configuration file, which our platform identifies, installs the agent, gets the MDM service running on the device, and it just pushes the configurations onto the device. And once the enrollment is done, we have set of policies that could be enforced onto the device, and since then the device can be managed from the JumpCloud.
Awesome. Thank you. And then Artem was saying, it does simplify the setup when we have access to the device before we provide it to a user. We'd still require manual intervention when we drop ship a device to a work from home person.
In that case, you could work with the vendor, just create the provisioning package and give it to the vendor or anybody, your service provider, or you could work with our various partners and make sure you could automate that.
Okay, so there are still automation
Yes.
opportunities. Okay.
There are a few cloud products as well. OSD Cloud is one among them. Sorry. Using this provisioning package, an image can be created, and that can be. And there is some scripting. It's completely technical, but there are some nice documentation out there in the internet. Anybody could follow that and have the image built with the provisioning package, which will further automate. And all that an end user will have to do is, once he gets the machine, open it up and just log in with the credentials and up and running.
Awesome. Let's see. Scott saying other benefits would be the simplicity added for less technical admins, no script to run, and a clearer UI on enrollment. Windows MDM enrollment shows clearly at the UIX for PPKG installation on the device. Cool. And earlier, Scott was saying not keen on the requirement to sign in with your Microsoft account. And Artem replied, exactly, you can bypass it, but it's not intuitive and it's error prone. So, bleh. So they still have some work there. Microsoft does. Let's see. Urvashi, were there any other questions that I missed?
No other questions, but there was some conversation about how, there's like autopilot is gated, Azure licensing is a pain, things like that,
Yes,
and
yes.
then a wish list of if only Windows had something similar to Apple ADE. So yeah, it does seem like Windows and Microsoft are not making things easy.
Oh yeah, I missed Scott saying after the installation on the device. It's also important to highlight where this fits into the broader onboarding story for a user to their JumpCloud managed Windows device. This paired with self-service account provisioning released in Q4 2023 makes the process even easier. So
Right. It's about federation, a join. So this story is complemented by that. That makes much more easy, even more. We can say it this way. It's a light touch provisioning from admin perspective. It's a zero touch provisioning from the user perspective. So that's how we can put it. So, both complement each other, and that will make things even more simplified.
yeah, and Brandon's saying, I think Microsoft is in a complex spot. They would have to manage an API for this and work with BIOS vendors to make a quote management quote standard. So yeah.
My response is that they have all the money that exists on planet Earth and they can just hire someone. No excuses.
Yeah, I think sometimes getting industry standards out there when the horses are already out of the barn, to borrow a phrase from when I was growing up, is difficult. And, yeah, I think it's Bill Gates that has all the money, not Microsoft. Oh, Tom says that's Apple.
And I say actually it's Amazon. My bad.
Yeah, and Steven says they don't care. And then people will get upset when their machines can get remotely nuked.
Rob is saying, why would Microsoft do that when they just spent the last 2 years firing everyone? Dark.
We don't know.
They won't unless they can buzzword AI into it somehow, was Brandon's response.
I saw a news article that said that they're adding a key to their Windows keyboard for the first time since 1994, and the new key is going to be the Copilot key. So that is a real thing.
Wow.
They could do whatever they wanted to do in the world of Windows. They own the operating system. We are just the subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish we could do a lot more stuff, but Microsoft is not so big about announcements, or they don't. Of course, they have insider programs, they have their community posts being doing, but they still do some hush hush business in the background, trying to safeguard their Intunes maybe. And they want to release everything as a part of beta on Intunes, push to the customers, get the feedback, and then go a lot about it. We don't know. In the world of Windows, Microsoft, rules. We are just subscribers to it.
Yeah. The only thing we can do is be reactionary. We don't get to be proactive because companies like that are secretive. They don't want to share everything until it's ready to go because competition.
My
that
favorite
fun stuff.
response to the Copilot key is Chris, who said, "Ew." That's the whole comment.
Mm-hmm. Ew.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Reminds me of Alexis on
Schitt's Creek.
yeah, thank you. I was forgetting it for a second. Ew. Or
Ew,
Jimmy Fallon.
Microsoft. Stop,
Jimmy Fallon
Microsoft.
back in the day. Ew. Yeah, there's so many of those.
Ew,
Yeah,
David,
Chris.
no.
Yeah, exactly. So many gifts
Oh my
or
god.
gifs depending on your preference of
Should
Schitt's
we
Creek.
start a meme channel in the Slack lounge?
No. No. There might already be like a water cooler channel for stuff like that. You can start a thread.
Cool.
You can start a
I'm
thread in
coming
the
in.
IT
I'm
hour if you want to, because that's
coming in with the memes, you guys.
you can use Microsoft Edge shopping to compare replacements for Microsoft services. Surprised they don't block that. Alrighty. We still have a few minutes for IT news.
I have a really fun one, so I'm really glad that we got to the IT news. But we have to go through some difficult news before we get there. Is everybody ready?
No.
Strap in your seatbelts.
Okay.
We have 2 CISA updates, which everybody loves. The first one is about Play ransomware. So since June 2022, the Play, known as PlayCrypt ransomware group, has impacted a wide range of businesses and critical infrastructure in basically all over the world. The FBI is aware of 300 affected entities. The latest attack was in Australia in November of last year. And basically, what Play ransomware does is it employs a double extortion model, encrypting systems after exfiltrating data. The ransom notes don't include an initial ransom demand or payment instructions. Rather, the victims are instructed to contact the threat actors via email. And so they just add a bunch of, I don't know, payments along the way at every step. So that's fun. So update all the things, click the link for more information. It'll all be in the show notes afterwards. The next one is about ALPHB, which I've decided to call Alpha Black Cat. Actors released a new version of their malware, and the FBI identified over 1,000 victims worldwide targeted by this for data extortion. So the update has the capability to encrypt both Windows and Linux devices and VMware instances. According to the FBI, as of September 2023, the Alpha Black Cat affiliates have compromised over 1,000 entities, which is nearly 75, and of which 75% are in the United States, 250 outside of the United States, demanded over 500 million. And wait for it, they have actually received almost 300 million in ransom payments. So, why do we bother, you guys? I wonder if they're hiring. I don't mean that. That was a joke. For legal reasons, that is a joke. Okay, the next one, I think Rob will enjoy this. Microsoft releases downloadable tool to fix phantom HP printer installations.
break out your Office Space memes.
Microsoft disclosed an odd printer bug that was affecting some users of Windows 10 or 11. Various Windows Server products also. Affected PCs were seeing an HP printer installed, an HP LaserJet M101, M106, even though they weren't actually using any kind of HP printer. The bug could override settings for whatever printer the user actually did have installed, and also prompted the installation of an HP Smart Printer app from the Microsoft Store. Microsoft still hasn't shared the root cause of the problem, though it did make it clear that the problem wasn't HP's fault. So now the company has released a fix for anyone whose PCs were affected by this. What? I mean, like, can you even blame like the QA team? How do you test for that? How do you test for this update doesn't install a printer?
But the fix requires you to download and run a dedicated troubleshooting tool from Microsoft's site.
I mean,
What?
I don't know.
Rob says
Just, I
pitchfork
can't.
engaged. See,
I was
you were
laughing
right.
so much.
But seriously, you have to. So, to get rid of this phantom, you have to download a separate tool from Microsoft to get rid of the phantom.
Wait for all of the alpha Black Cat people to give you like a fake installer. This is like a collaboration waiting to happen.
Don't give people ideas,
I'm
Urvashi.
sorry, I'm smart
Whoops.
and oh my God. Kelly says, given all the grief and heartache we've all had over printers, I feel like it's fair to give HP a little blame, even if it's indirect. Microsoft can only automate problems, not solutions.
So, when you go out into a field with a baseball bat, do you take the Microsoft computer or the HP printer? Or both?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Exactly.
All the memes today.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm totally picturing Office Space here. Kelly says, please click this mysterious link to fix your printer problem. Weren't those like pop-up ads for the longest time? Here,
In the
download
90s.
virus here.
Download more RAM. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
Moving on. This next one is also kind of fun. Google wrote a robot constitution to make sure its new AI droids won't kill us. So that's good. The data gathering system AutoRT applies safety guardrails inspired by Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. It includes a system for gathering training data with a robot constitution to make sure your robot office assistant can fetch you more printer paper, but without mowing down a human coworker who happens to be in the way.
Wait. Did we
Clap.
just enter the dystopian future when we're basing things on Asimov? Thing just shifted.
It's like we were gone for 5 days and the whole world changed.
Although my kids and I just watched the original Terminator, which as of this year was made 40 years ago. And fair warning, we are 5 years away from the robots destroying everything and taking over. Just saying, it's in 2029, so be prepared. It's coming.
Let's go burn some fossil fuels, you guys. The world is ending. Oh my God. Now for my favorite. My favorite.
Oh, hang on. Becca says I'd suggest reading The Foundation by Asimov and start taking notes. You're probably right. It's probably a little bit scary.
Rob says Star Trek 2 Wrath of HP. Okay, my favorite news story. Are you guys ready? You can now buy the Xbox Series S toaster for $40. For $40, you can get it from Walmart and have the Xbox Sphere logo toasted onto your bread every day. A dream fulfilled that you never knew you had. It fits 2 slices of bread, has 6 browning levels available, an LED countdown, and a removable crumb tray. It also offers bagel and defrost settings. At least you don't have to download anything to make it work. So
X-rated toast. That was from Stuart. Xbox X-rated toast.
oh my God.
I think I would rather have a toaster that makes the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, that's detailed.
It'd be cool though.
I was watching Modern Family and they were trying to invent a toaster that would like pop the toast out straight onto like a plate of butter. That's what I want. I want it to be auto buttered. The original Xbox toaster only did jetpack toast levels.
But can you imagine if you had a plate of butter? I mean, and it popped out, it would like, I can just imagining it splattering and making like
I know. That is the same conclusion they came to on the show, unfortunately.
Unless you had
So
a container where it was deep enough where it would just plop in and kind of sit, but then it would get soggy. No, nope.
yeah, it get like, there's no good way to do it.
Rob says the original Xbox toaster only did jet black toast levels.
I'm surprised it didn't say your printer is out of ink. We can't make the toast. Toner levels are low. Oh my God. So that was the news today. There were a couple of other fun ones that I left out, but I had to include the toaster.
Ah, Kelly. Okay, since nobody else is asking, will it run Doom?
Feature request, Kelly. The product team reads all feature requests, at least here at JumpCloud. So Hari, if we could just add this to the roadmap to integrate with the new Xbox toaster and have it shipped out already enrolled. Internet of Things.
Old toast can only be used if you have the disk and is on the bread compatibility list, says Rob. And back up a little further, Brandon said, I want Sunbeam toasters back. And Rob's, oh man, I'd kill for one of those Sunbeams that actually checked for the toast temp directly. And then Brandon starts bragging and says he has one in the basement. Brandon, what else do you have in your basement? Should we be worried?
The original DOS operating system in floppy disks. That's what he has in the basement.
I keep forgetting that we can put these up on screen. I could have put all these up on screen. James, will there be a downgrade rights to go back to the previous version of Toast? Sorry, once it's burnt beyond all recognition, the only thing you do is scrape it with a knife, James. Sorry.
I realized this is like a very random thing, but it immediately, all this talk of toast reminded me of like one of my college friends. Like I saw him putting jam, like jelly on a slice of toast, and he just like couldn't get it across the slice. Just like sort of splotched it. Like, how are these the people that graduated with honors from competitive universities, but you don't know how to put jam on toast? Anyway, that was a side rant. This chat is out of control.
Mm-hmm. Now they're talking about the name of the burning CD program that Apple had, and will Apple sue when people start eating burned CDs? Oh,
Wait, I'm just gonna put this up without any context. This deserves to be read. Facts. Oh my God. Big jelly got to me. Yes, it did.
Yeah. I don't think you're ready for this jelly, Urvashi.
You know what I strongly believe about the people I went to college with? They would rather build a robot to put the jam on the toast for them than just learn how to do it correctly. This is Silicon Valley innovation in a nutshell.
Oh, my kiddo sent me a video of someone trying to make a milk frother out of Lego bricks. And it went through the process of doing it, and it took them like 5 or 6 different things until they got it automated to where they wanted it. And I'm like, it went through all these iterations where it was wobbly and all these things, and they finally got the frother they wanted, and then they built like a motor and then sensors to where it was completely automated. Like they would set the milk down in like a beaker, not a beaker, but it was a science flask sort of thing, and they would set it down there. And then these little arms would come up and close on it. And then the frother would come down automatically. And then it would start and spinning. And then when it was done, it would lift back up and the little arms would come open. And then you would spoon the milk, the foam, into his coffee. I'm like, dude, that was a lot of work for
I
milk
am
foam when there are already tools out there to do it.
exactly. I'm all for innovation. At least make something new. Like there are all these great Twitter threads where people are ideating about like public transport. They're like, you know what we need? We need Ubers that have like a specific route and like they stop in these specific places. And the responses to these tweets are just like, congratulations, you invented the bus. That's
Or a shuttle or all these things.
what a bus is.
Yeah. Kelly says Lego is best used for building yarn winders. I could see where that would be pretty
Yeah.
cool. Although they make manual and automated ones for that too, but they're very expensive. But there are milk frothers that are just a few dollars. And he did the calculations as to how much it would cost to do these two, and it was a couple $100 or more. I'm like, you could buy a really nice milk frother for that amount. Why not just do that instead of making it out of Legos, which would be hard to clean?
How do you
anyway?
clean that? Exactly. That was my first thought was like, can you imagine those
Icky. It'd be icky.
crust.
But it was fascinating to watch. But no, I'm not going to do that. I mean, it was fun to watch, but you're out of your mind to try
On a
to do
similar
that and use
vein,
it.
on a similar note, if you are managing multiple users and devices by hand, you guys, you don't have to do that. You can just click this link and download JumpCloud.
And with that, that's our pitch
Always
for
be
the day.
plugging.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. We are very happy to be back, and thank you all for joining us. It's good to see some familiar faces and some new ones as well. So with that, we will see you next Friday, and have a good weekend. We hope you enjoy. Thanks much.
Clean your milk frothers.
Bye all.